welcome to Getaway and welcome to Portugal. If, like me, you've never been to this sun-drenched slice of paradise, then we can discover it together. If you're lucky enough that you've already been, then you'll want to revisit its terraced vineyards, gorgeous gardens, impressive palaces, and the lovely locals. Either way, it's a win-win. As the Portuguese say, "Está pronto?" Of course, we're ready for this.
I just think you're cool.
Porto is Portugal's second largest city after Lisbon. And it's the starting point for our 11-day cruise along the Douro River with Scenic. For the sweet tooths among us, there is one mandatory first stop upon arriving in Portugal, pastéis de nata, or as we know them, Portuguese tarts.
This is a typical Portuguese breakfast. An espresso, the Portuguese tart, and the final touch, a little flourish of cinnamon. Oh, I'm so glad I got two.
Porto's Old Town area revolves around the magnificent Douro, which has long been the lifeblood of this port city.
These boats, called Rebelos, were used to carry port from the Douro Valley to right here in Porto.
These days, they carry tourists and can deliver us to the other side of the river to discover Porto from another perspective.
It's so interesting seeing a new city from above because you realise how big it is, or in Porto's case, how compact it is.
With Scenic, you'll discover all of Porto's prettiest sights, as well as having free time to discover a few of your own. Every day, there are Scenic free choice tours to choose from. I've opted to explore the nearby region of Ucanha and its landmark suspension bridge.
Pedro, I like your office,
Yes,
but
for
clearly you have no fear of heights.
Yes, that was one of the requirements when I applied for this job.
How high up will we be?
So when we reach the middle of the bridge, that's when we reach the highest point, where you have the Paiva River under your feet. There will be 175 meters, like a 50-story building.
On completion in 2021, this was the world's largest suspension bridge. And while the title has already been overtaken, it can certainly lay claim to being one of the most significant structures in the country.
It's amazing that you've got this bridge because then it brings people to this area to learn more about it and appreciate it.
Yes, that was one of the goals from the municipality when we build, and to give people the opportunity to have another perspective and another experience.
I've decided that if I just focus on you, then I'm not going to panic.
Okay.
I'll just keep watching you.
That's a good thing.
The entire region of Ucanha is classified as a UNESCO Global Geopark.
We have 41 geosites, and these geosites, each one we can learn about the history of the Earth.
It's almost like you've got the best of man-made structures with the best of nature coming together.
Yes, it's true. To enjoy this landscape. Also learn how the river, the wind, the rain can sculpt all the valley, but also the man can do big things.
I find it really unusual that you have goats in such a pristine area. Why are they here?
Yes, they are very important because we have an area with big slopes, so they help in the management of the bushes, the herbs that we have here.
So they're kind of good for fire management.
Yes, they are very, very important.
We can pass. Coming through.
We can pass.
Don't mind us, all good. He couldn't care less, could he? No.
The Paiva walkways were designed to immerse visitors in this spectacular natural landscape.
So how long are these walkways?
The wooden walkways, 8 kilometers.
8 kilometres of walkways.
Yes.
We are going to get our steps up today, my friend.
So we have
2 hours.
2 hours? You walk slowly. No. We're doing this in 45 minutes.
Okay, let's go.
From Porto, Scenic Azure sets sail on the Douro River, which roughly translates to River of Gold. And on a day like this, it really lives up to its name. The Douro Valley is one of Portugal's most prized destinations and one of the oldest wine regions on the planet. Sailing along it on Scenic Azure is one of the best ways to really take it all in. And you'll happily lap it all up from the comfort of the masterfully designed suites on board. All but a handful of Scenic Azure's 48 suites feature these spacious balconies.
Whether it's the seemingly endless vineyards, the gorgeous country homes, or the little villages that pass us by, time spent cruising is absolutely one of the highlights of this experience. It's just another way to soak up this incredible scenery.
Our next port is Entre os Rios, and a short 25-minute drive delivers us to the stunning Avelita Winery.
This garden is gobsmacking. It's so beautiful.
It is. And there's a lot of species. And this is actually the best season, you know, to see the garden. It's springtime. There's always color in this garden.
So one family has owned this property.
Yes, they've been here for 5 generations, since the 1600s.
The vision of one man, Manuel Pedro Guedes, has left a legacy that has inspired generations.
You can tell that there's so much love poured into not just the winery, but also this garden.
Yes, this is their house, their home. And the funny thing is that there's always family members who are particularly interested in the garden. And so they still bring things into the garden. That's why we have all this different species, different colors.
The home and gardens are also enjoyed by us lucky tourists, with scenic guests, some of the fortunate few invited to share this fascinating space.
Are you kidding? You've got goats
Yes, we
on
do.
a roof.
We have goats on a roof. That's actually the goat's house. And look at the babies. They were born a week and a half ago.
Why do they have their own house?
Well, because Mr. Guedes thought these were the best animals to entertain the family children. See, he thought of everything. The children loved goats. He loved goats as well, so. And they can go all the way up. It's
Who
one of
doesn't
the
love a
highlights.
goat?
It is lovely. Oh, look at how tiny they are. Oh, look at them, look at that one.
They're about to fall
Oh,
off.
the 2 of them, see? Oh, they're so cute.
With so much to see, it's easy to forget this is one of the most renowned wineries in the country.
Christina, so much sunshine, so much beautiful fresh air. What else is it about this region that makes your wines world famous?
Well, the region, the weather, the soil, the grapes are unique. And the tradition of making wines in this region, and as well as in Portugal, yeah, I think that that says it all.
Avelita Winery is in the heart of the Vinho Verde wine region. Vinho Verde translates as green wine, not for the colour of the wine, but the lush rolling vines.
This is Vinho Verde, Casal Garcia. This was actually our first wine produced on the estate in 1939. It's the most popular wine in Portugal as well as abroad. It's very refreshing, very flavorish, a lot of aromas. So like we like to say in Portugal, saúde.
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 Another scenic free choice option is the nearby town of Guimarães, referred to as the birthplace of the country, thanks to the first independent king of Portugal being born here back in 1110. These days, it's best known for its impressive ducal palace.
Well, so we are entering the Great Hall. It was originally used for celebrations, receptions, all sorts of events. One of the interesting things is the ceiling, because in Southern Europe it isn't common to see boat-shaped ceilings. But the Duke that had the palace built in the 15th century had two main occupations in his life. He was a knight, and he was in the first conquest of the Portuguese in the north side of Africa. But he also traveled all throughout Europe for several reasons, and it was from those voyages that he brought the idea of building this palace, which was extremely different from what could be expected in Portugal in the 15th century.
So it was revolutionary.
Well, we could say that, yes.
Ducal Palace, as the name suggests, was built by the dukes of the time.
Originally, the Duke had his private quarters to this area, and the female bedchamber was on this side. They went from one bedchamber to the other through this upper passage. But the interesting thing is that they had their own balconies to attend Mass with their private fireplaces.
Explore the wonders of Portugal in truly all-inclusive ultra-luxury on board Scenic Azure. Exclusive Scenic Enrich experiences, Scenic free choice activities, all on-board meals and drinks are included. Getaway viewers can save $300 per person with an exclusive voucher, plus included economy flights in 2025. To request your voucher, visit scenic.com.au/getaway, call 1300 790 372 or speak to your nearest travel advisor.
Slowly meandering our way along the Douro River aboard Scenic Azure is most definitely one of the most relaxing ways to travel. Our spaceship is designed to maximise the space and luxury on board, whether it's soaking in the sun or lounging around with a cuppa. Each day, a new port of call awaits. And today, it's Regua, a charming town often regarded as the gateway to the Douro Valley. One of the joys of travelling by ship is being able to explore some of Portugal's less discovered regions.
So Inish, how do I pronounce the name of this town?
Ucanha.
Ucanha.
Yes.
And the Romans were the first ones
Exactly.
to live here.
The Romans, they were the first ones to start producing wine in this region, according to some archaeological excavations.
So we've got them to thank for the wine.
Absolutely. They were the first ones.
When was this bridge built?
This bridge was built in the 14th century, and this was the very first toll bridge we had in our country.
When we were walking through, I noticed all these marks on each
Yes.
stone. What do they represent?
They were signature of the stonemasons, because at the time they would be paid in the end of the day according to the number of stones they would place.
So they got paid per stone.
Exactly.
So that was like their invoice right there.
The invoice at the time. That's true.
The little village of Ucanha is in the region of Tarouca, the site of Portugal's first Cistercian monastery founded back in 1174.
Why did they choose this town to settle in?
Two main reasons. They had here a peaceful place where they could pray, they could relax, they could meditate, and at the same time, very fertile lands, because we are in between two rivers.
Just the ruins of the monastery remain after the religious order was abolished in the 1800s, leaving only the church intact.
So once the monks were expelled, people just came and grabbed stones and used them for whatever they wanted. Why didn't they touch the church?
Well, since the church was a sacred place, the locals, they didn't use the stonework for other constructions. The church became the main parish church of the village.
Thank goodness that
Yes,
they didn't touch it, because
absolutely.
it's so beautiful.
But while it's a sight to behold from the outside, the interiors are truly striking.
We have a saying here in Portugal, when something is really perfect, when something is beautiful, we say it's ouro sobre azul. That means it's gold over blue. And this has to do with the decoration of our churches. You notice that the main altars, the gold, and then on the side walls we have the beautiful blue and white tile panels. So that's why gold over blue.
This entire region holds a wealth of historical riches, but the pinnacle is here in Lamego.
This town, Lamego, it's really an important town to Portuguese people.
Absolutely. Lamego, it is a monumental town. It is the place in Portugal with the greatest concentration of monuments per square meters.
But this one is the most magnificent of them all. It's breathtaking.
It is indeed. This is one of the most important monuments, Baroque architecture style we have in this area of the country.
They really make you work for it too, with all these stairs.
Absolutely. This is to be close to the heaven. So that's the reason why the shrines, they were located at the top of the hills.
The Sanctuary of Our Lady of Remedies is a striking 18th century Baroque church visited by pilgrims from around the world.
I'm feeling the burn. But it's so worth it.
It is indeed.
Back aboard Scenic Azure, an afternoon on the sun deck, lazing about in the Vitality pool, is the perfect way to really soak up the European summer. When I travel to a new country, I really like to immerse myself. And when I say immerse myself, I mean really immerse myself. Welcome back to Getaway and Scenic's unforgettable Douro River cruise. A journey that is so far well and truly living up to its name. From ancient ruins to vines as far as the eye can see, Portugal's Douro Valley is certainly delivering the goods at every turn. Every day you can take the experience at your own pace or sign up for one of several included Scenic free choice tours. Like today's guided tour of a palace and gardens that may just look a little familiar.
I do recognise this from the wine label.
Yes, actually, you are looking to the image of Mateus Rosé wine label. Actually, it is a Baroque palace from the first half of the 18th century, designed by an Italian architect.
Casa de Mateus was completed way back in 1744, becoming a heritage site in the 1970s.
The family had a noble title, and the firstborn in each generation was the administrator of the state and the house.
After how many generations?
We are talking about right now 14th generations.
The palace and its gardens are a striking statement of wealth and centuries of Portuguese history.
So where exactly did you take your inspiration from?
Our inspiration came from the Versailles Palace in France. That is probably the most iconic symbol of Baroque in all the world.
This is just glorious.
Yes, and this is one of the main inspirations of the Versailles Palace gardens. You can find a lot of shapes from that place in here.
So this is the oldest part of the garden, and I have to say, it's the most beautiful.
Yes, all the designs, the shapes of the elements that we have in the gardens are actually inspired in the first period of the Baroque in the region. And even the view that the owner of the family had, because the main bedroom was there. We can imagine every day people looking through the window and to the most important section of the garden.
Oh, lucky owner, waking up to this.
Yes.
Glorious.
Exactly, and we try to maintain it exactly like the 18th century.
A room with a view.
Exactly.
The meticulously maintained gardens are matched by the lavish palace interiors.
So now we are entering one of the most important rooms of the house, the library, that have inside more than 4,000 books, starting from the period of the 16th century. Of course, that we have an important book in here, or the most important book of the collection that you can see there, that told us about the story of Vasco da Gama. It was made by one of the members of the family, José Maria, and he was responsible for negotiate peace with Napoleon that was invading all across Europe, including Portugal.
This family's incredible.
Yeah, it's...
Is there nothing they can't do?
It is, exactly.
What a joy it is travelling through this beautiful region, drinking in views like this. For such a small country, Portugal delivers big time. And like a good port, it just keeps getting better and better.
Explore the wonders of Portugal in truly all-inclusive ultra-luxury on board Scenic Azure. Exclusive Scenic and Rich experiences, Scenic free choice activities, all on-board meals and drinks are included. Getaway viewers can save $300 per person with an exclusive voucher, plus included economy flights in 2025. To request your voucher, visit scenic.com.au/getaway, call 1300 790 372 or speak to your nearest travel advisor.